Hello everyone, my name is Abiodun Awokunle and I'm a student of the Big Data Analytics program at Georgian College. Today I'm going to be presenting on doing data analysis and visualization using Jupyter Notebook and Tableau. And today we'll be looking at sources of energy. I have gotten my data from ourworldindata.org. So if you go to articles by topic, you will see different articles here. And then I've decided to do one on energy sources as it is. So if you come here, I've downloaded the data in Microsoft Excel. And so we can see about 10 different energy sources that is being used from 1800 up until 2019. And the consumption is measured in terawatt hour. So, but if you look at from 1800 to 1960, the consumption rate is captured in a 10-year window, and that's not very consistent with what we have from 1965 up until 2019, which is captured yearly. So I've decided to clean this data because that period is not consistent with the other. So I've decided to remove from it the record from 1800 to 1960, and then so that I can start from 1965, which I have here, and then I've saved it I've saved it in somewhere on my computer. And so if I can go to my Jupyter Notebook here, I decided to import some libraries. I have NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. Matplotlib is used to plot charts. I have Seaborn. It's also used to plot charts. And then I also have SciPy, which is used for statistical analysis. So if we go to the next cell, here I'm trying to hook up with my data, and so I've decided to name the data energies. Sorry, the data set. I've decided to name it energies, and I want to call out the content of that data. So you can see the file path here, and so when I call it out, I have the data displayed here, the data set displayed here, and then you can see the year and what was consumed in each year under each energy source. So from 1965, you can see 116,140, kilowatt terawatt hour was consumed of coal in 1965. 18,109 terawatt hour was consumed of oil in 1965. So there up until 2019. So here I've decided to find out how many rows and columns that I have, and I used the code energies.shape, and that gave me this output 6, which is showing that we have 55 rows and 11 columns. At the same time, I decided here to change what the index column will be. So I want to change it from what we have here, 0 to 54. I like to change it to one of the other columns in the data set. So I used energies.set underscore index, and then you have concatenate coal in place equals to true, and with that I'm able to change the index column on the data set to coal. If you scroll down here, I decided to do a grouping to find the size and the sum, and I did that for the year, and so we have that displayed here for the year, and also for other columns in the data set. So if I come down here, I have decided to use the same data, but I've given it a new data set name for other manipulations that I want to do. So let's say I'm trying to find the mean for the column year. So I'm using energies.groupby. So I have the year here, and then trying to find the mean. And so this is what is is displaying for us. But for something more comprehensive, to describe the data in total, I have analgesis.describe. So this is summarizing the statistics of the new data set for me. So I have the count here for oil, I have the count for gas, I have the mean, I have the standard deviation, I have the minimum 25%, 50, 75, and then the maximum. And then if I want to see what is consumed for the first 5 years in the data set, so from 1965 to 1969, it is showing here and is displaying that wind and biofuels and solar, as we can see from here, those three sources of energy are yet to be tapped into as at that time. But if you go to the last 5 in the data set, so here it is showing that wind, biofuels, and solar have now become a source of energy, that is being used in the world. So you can see, for example, in 2015, 257 terawatt hour of solar was consumed, as against 937 terawatt hour for biofuels and 832 for wind. So here I've decided to do some visualizations using the matplotlib command. And then I have what the plot figure size should be. And then we're looking at a bar chart to see what the gas consumption rate is from 1965 to 2019. And as you can see here, the chart is given a title, and we can see that there's an upward surge, an upward consumption of gas from 1965 to 2019. I decided to present it again, looking at hydropower this time around, using scattered plots. But as you can see here, it's showing it's not very, very clean. So I decided to use bar chart again to display that of hydropower. And as you can see again, the chart is given a title, and we can see an upward surge in consumption of hydropower from 1965 up until 2019. There's also a display for nuclear power here. As you can see, the year from 1965 is listed by the side, and we can see a projection and an upward projection as it is. So we can see that there's a surge also in the consumption of nuclear power as it is. So if I can just go to Tableau at this time, for my sheet 1, I click on data source. Just a moment. New data source, and then click on Microsoft Excel, and that's how I'm able to bring hook up with my data here, and then it has been loaded onto Tableau. So for the first sheet, I'm showing the consumption in bar charts, a bar chart representation of the consumption of all of these energy sources for 2019, which is just last year. So we have 1,143 for biofuels and 39,292 for gas, 43,849 terawatt hour for coal. And clearly here, oil is leading. So which shows that oil is the highest, it was the most used source of energy in 2019. So let's say a company wants to go into the business of energy, of providing energy as it is, you might be thinking of investing in oil instead, because this is clearly showing that oil has the most consumption rate as it is. If we come to sheet 2 here, this is basically just showing a display of a bar chart display as well of all the energy sources from 1965 up until 2019. Sheet 3 is showing me the total consumption under the period in the period under review, 1965 to 2019, and clearly here oil is seen as the most used source of energy. So a company might be thinking that, oh, okay, if we are going to set up, we may likely have to invest in oil instead. However, if you are looking at electricity generation, most often in the West, oil is not necessarily used as a source of generating electricity. And as such, yeah, maybe back in places like Africa, most homes use small generators, and they are powering their houses with those small those small generators using petrol, which is called gas in North America here. So, but uh, as it is for commercial purpose of generating power. Clearly here, the next one is showing coal. So it's showing coal, and coal, whoever wants to do that might be considering coal as a source of generating electricity to sell to consumers. Sheet 4 here is showing a line graph, making us see that there's an upward surge in the consumption or the usage of coal as a source of energy. And if you even look at the forecast here, you will see that in 2018, so in 2019, we have 43,448 terawatt hour of coal that is being consumed. But if you move your cursor up here, up to 2028, you will see that the forecast is showing that we will likely be consuming about 51,509 terawatt hour of coal. So this is a good it's a good source of analysis for any company that is trying to go into electricity generation. So your best bet might be to use coal. Thank you.